Here's the 2-2. Smacked out a play to the left side.
He went with a high fastball there. I'm wondering if maybe the changeup dropped in would have been a more effective pitch there, but we'll see what he'll do at 3-2.
The pitch. Golfed out and softly lifted towards left field. Ranging to make the play is Garriola. And one is down here in the top of the 5th inning.
Two good plays by the guy that hit the 2-run home run in the bottom of the 4th inning. And that ball is traveling more than I thought it would. It looks like just light contact to drop in, but Garriola was playing at normal depth and still had to move back on that ball.
Well, it looks like Dylan Carter is a Garriola magnet. He's flown out to Garriola and left the last 2 times he's come up. Now Curtis Byrne will stand in for the second time after fouling away the first pitch he sees 0-1. Justin Mice continuing to do well, and I talked to him before the game, Chris, as Byrne awaits the 0-1 pitch. It's an 80-mile-an-hour slider called for a strike. 0-2. Said, what are you more excited for, this game or the MLB draft? He said, I'm really excited for this start. That's just the type of guy that Justin Mice is. 79-mile-an-hour changeup. It's buried in the dirt. 1-2.
Speaks volumes about his character as well. He's one of those guys that carries himself with complete and utter humbleness, if that's even a word. But seriously, this guy is going to be a very good player at the next level, and all he's concerned about is helping his team win here. He's gotten along with everybody, quiet, but very great presence for the Kettleers. A true pleasure to watch and be around.
Mice blazes a fastball, but misses outside. It's 2-2. Goes back to the slider, and it works. Strikeout number 5 and a pretty.
Well, the slider continues to devastate the hitters. In his last start against Falmouth, he had 7 strikeouts. And he's on pace for that and more because this game is progressing quickly. He's throwing his pitches. He's not throwing too many per inning.
You know what he's also on the verge of? His 3rd 1-2-3 inning. But he'll have to go through Trey Faltine. Goes back to the slider right at the belt, called strike. 0-1. No balls, 1 strike, 2 outs. Nobody on the base paths for the Whitecaps. The Kettleers leading 3-1 here in the top of the 5th inning. As a soft dribbler rolls foul towards the Whitecaps dugout, it's 0-2. Here comes the pitch from Mice. Tried to use the front door. May have been locked. It's 1-2. Ground ball right at Eric Brown. He'll fire over to first. And another 1-2-3 inning for Justin Mice. Can't speak enough about how well he's doing. Now it's time for the Bats to continue their success in the home half of the 5th.
We're going to go to Lyron. I love going to Lyron. Yeah, we had no idea when Lauren was going on. There's Lauren, and then there's Lauren eating Pepperidge Farm, and that's Lyron. Oh my God, I messed up my face. Yeah. Oh.
Well, folks, you know what they say, teamwork makes the dream work, and to an even greater extent, teamwork makes the stream work. And both can be said here at Lowell Park today. Our excellent producers, Owen Zides and Jack Roberts, has been working really hard to get the cameras back and functional. And now we're back with a 3-1 lead for the Kettleers, whose teamwork has made the dream work, especially last inning, plating 3 runs.
That should be our T-shirt. You know, we were trying to figure out what our intern T-shirt's going to be. I think that's what we need to say. Teamwork makes the stream work. That's simple. Yeah, wow. Good one. Seriously, nice.
It's a rarity that you like my wordplay.
Well, it's either that or you're talking about what kind of fruit Zach Fruit would be. So it's one or the other in that situation.
I still stand by my analysis of him as a banana. But it's a 1-0 count to Matt Donlin, who flew out his last time up. He swings and misses on an 83-mile-an-hour slider on the inner half.
And we should expect to see Donlin a lot this year. Once that bat starts to come alive, it'll be a different kind of player that we haven't seen before. He's already got the defense to prove it. Now the bat, once it starts going, will be great.
Looks like the same result for Donlin, skied out towards center field. Davis camps underneath and gets the first out of the inning. But now we're back at the top of the order with Luke Gold, who has a pair of groundouts, one of which was right back up to the pitcher, Rutkowski, and he's made some excellent plays defensively, but Luke Gold trying to get through that hole up the middle. As Gold gets one in on the hands, right at the third baseman, Weiss. He'll throw to first, and the play is made. So that's something you're not going to see very often. 3 groundouts from Luke Gold. The 3 runs on the board for the Kettleers don't take much away from how well Harry Rutkowski has been pitching.
Yeah, and he's just drawing soft contact, except in that big 4th inning when he gave up a double, a home run, and then another double from R.J. Schreck.
Baldwin fouls one back on the first pitch he sees. He's coming off of a big double that started off the inning in the 4th. It's the first run that's scored in this game. A 0-1 pitch pops out of the glove of Byrne, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. This middle part of the order has been the part that has done the most damage today, and it all pretty much came in the 4th inning.
Well, this is the part of the order that you absolutely expect to do the most damage. You got your 2, 3, 4 hitters, and R.J. Schreck in the 7 spot doing damage, but he's typically an everyday guy, probably in the 5 spot usually. He's just trying to bolster that bottom of the order, and he helped himself and a few of his teammates as well.
Well, for now, it's a 1-2 to Baldwin. Defensive swing almost gets that one in fair ground, but just rolls foul to the left.
I don't know how he was able to get bat to ball on that slider. He just somehow went down and got it. That hugged the line. That could have been extra bases again, too, if Weiss's quick feet didn't move to it in foul ground, of course. But deep in that part of third base, he could have legged out a base hit at least, if that stayed fair.
Here comes the 1-2. Off the plate, evened up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Two-two pitch, and Baldwin is down on strikes for the second time. 1-2-3 inning for Rutkowski. He follows the suit of Justin Mice, but we're going to send it over to Lauren Kirkley, who will have a report for us right now.
Now I am being joined by Cotuit's Community Relations intern, Jenna Meyer. Jenna, thank you for joining us. Today is Bark at the Park at Lowell. Tell us a little bit about what's going on today.
Absolutely. So we have a super fun game day planned for our dog lovers and Kettleers fans. We have 2 game day giveaways, including dog bandanas and a Kettleer Frisbee giveaway. And then, of course, we have some great raffles with prizes from local businesses. And all of those prizes and proceeds will go to Cape Cod Paws of Comfort, which is a new therapy dog organization on the Cape.
And tell us who is joining us also.
We are joined by Kaylee, a chocolate lab, and she is one of the Cape Cod Paws of Comfort dogs, and she is super excited to meet fans at Lowell today.
Thank you so much, Jenna. Back to you, Chris and Steph. Now I am being joined by Cotuit's Community Relations.
Vanilla Mice is done for the day. He went 5 innings, gave up 3 hits, 1 run, no walks, and 5 strikeouts. So just another day at the office for Justin. The man coming in to replace him, Andre Granillo. And Chris, he has been one of the best arms coming out of the pen this season.
Well, you go from one of your most reliable starters and consistent starters to arguably your most consistent reliever. Last time we saw him pitch was against the Falmouth Commodores, and he came in an interesting situation. Went 2 1/3 innings, gave up 1 hit, only 1 walk and 2 strikeouts, and earned himself the save against the Commodores, who we beat at the time 4-3. That was a big win, and that propelled us into Bourne, where we won 2-0. And Andre Granillo has just continued to throw very hard and very successfully with the Cotuit Kettleers.
And correct me if I'm wrong, Chris, I think Granillo got the save in that game as well.
He did.
Blows 94 right past the top of the order, Colin Davis. Davis already has a single on the day, but grounded out to Eric Brown his last time up. Granillo's going to beat you down with fastballs. That's his MO, but he also has pitches like that. Gets Davis to check swing. That's that big slider. You start him off with 94. You go to a big breaking ball that just falls out of the zone. These hitters just light up because it's the only thing they really can catch up to. Here's the 0-2.
And that's just a nasty slider there, Steph. He puts it on late action, goes all the way to basically halfway through the left side batter's box. And that's smart of Davis to hold up there.
Goes back to the slider again. And it's 2 apiece. A little surprised by that decision. I think he really has commanded the zone the best when using his fastball. Let's see if he goes with it here. He does, but it's spoiled foul by Davis.
And that fastball is great. When he has it, he can spot it up and away. He can put it down on the inside. He can have late action running back into the hitter's hands to draw soft contact. So much in his arsenal. See right there, he goes in and low. The only thing that Colin Davis can do is put a defensive swing on it and hope to stay alive.
Give all the credit to Davis for fighting through this at bat. It's not easy to stare down a pitcher that can fire north of 93 miles an hour. Half swing into no man's land. Brown, bare hands, can't make the play.
And that's probably the weirdest base hit I've seen since arriving on the Cape. He didn't even go around. Swung that. It was like a swinging bunt almost. as it just looped over the head of Granillo. Eric Brown tried to make a dazzling play with his bare hand, ranging in. And that's how your 6th inning starts, folks, as the tying run comes to the plate.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. You'll take runs how you can get them against Andre Granillo. He'll fire over to first. Davis knew better. He stayed just a few steps off the bag.
Not too many times can you say you've gotten a hit against Andre Granillo since coming to the Cape. Many have tried and many have failed.
Davis is going. Here comes the throw from Donlin. It is off the back of Colin Davis, and that isn't going to feel too good. If it was on target, it would have gotten him, but he's going to feel that one as he gets up.
And this is a guy that is a base-stealing threat, as I mentioned before, and he puts Brewster Whitecaps in a good position here to put himself in scoring position. Now Thompson, who last time up hit a home run, inherits a strike there. But offensively speaking, can't go wrong with Colin Davis's ability to steal bases. He leads the team now with 13 on the season.
Yeah, and 3 of those have come against the Kettleers. He had 2 in the first meeting between Brewster and Cotuit at Stony Brook Park. As the 0-1 is swung on and missed by Thompson. But it's always good to have a guy like that that can move himself over without the ball needing to be put in play. It's an incredible weapon to have in your arsenal. But Thompson, no slouch either at the plate, has the lone run for Brewster. He saws one off right at Luke Gold, light contact, and there's the first out of the inning. But an effective one. It moves Colin Davis over 90 feet away from scoring.
Well, now Granillo has to play the matchup game against Zach Neto and figure out how to get this guy out who's 0 for 2. Well, we know what he's capable of in situations where he gets around in the order later in the game. And you have to remember, you were talking about the luxury they have with Colin Davis on the base paths. Even more so than that, this team's competing for first place right now. They're only a game out, less than a game out. Them and YD both have 7 wins.
First pitch to Neto. In the hole, diving play by Baldwin. He'll throw to first in time. Good call by Rick Emerson, but that's going to be an RBI for Zach Neto.
Well, Neto does his job, brings in the run, and Brooks Baldwin, nice play on the infield grass to dive to his left, recover to his feet, and quickly throw a strike over to Martorella at first base. And though 1 run comes in against Granillo, you're in a much better situation with nobody on the base paths and Sean Goosenberg coming up, because had there been 2 in that situation, Goosenberg has plenty of power himself.
Granillo snaps off a breaking ball in the inside corner and gets one back, 1-1. Goosenberg has reached base twice. One of those times was in unorthodox fashion. He struck out, but on a pass ball, he advanced to first base with 2 outs.
Yeah, got all the way to the backstop between the legs of Matt Donlin.
Let's see if he can strike out here without advancing. 1-2 pitch from Granillo. Tries the inside slider, but misses.
That was a pretty pitch, and that broke incredibly late. I thought that was going to run in, and at the last second broke outward against Goosenberg.
2-2. Here the chance. Get one more, Andre. Get one more. That's all he needs with a full count and 2 outs. Just to locate a pitch. And he does just that. Uses the slider. It's been his most effective tool. And the Kettleers are out of the inning. Brewster brings one more across. We'll go to the home half in the 6th.
Kowski. 5, 4 hits, 3 runs, 3 earned, 1 walk, 2 strikeouts, 3. We can't get this on the baseball. On a close play, out on first base. Here's the new pitcher. 46. 46. Brian Fitzpatrick. Brian Fitzpatrick out of where? Rutgers. Rutgers too? Yeah. Wow. And he's a lefty.
Bottom of the 6th inning here at Lowell Park. Stephen Carey, Chris Carey. The good guys leading 3-2 after a big 4th inning for the Kettleers. But Chris, here's the real question. Is it buy one, get one free on left-handed pitchers out of Rutgers? Because the man coming in relief is Brian Fitzpatrick after Harry Rutkowski did great work in 5 innings.
Well, you got your starting pitcher and now a guy that's 6'7", 225 pounds, going to hurl in the 6th inning with a 1-run difference. And this season, 4.5 ERA, 3 games played. He started 1 game, so he's going to be a different kind of hybrid guy for this Brewster Whitecaps team. Has struck out 11 in 8 innings pitched, walked only 1, but given up 9 hits. So the lefty-righty matchup is still in effect, starting with Eric Brown. But I think this guy is going to go more than 1 inning, especially considering his pedigree as also a starter. But yes, to answer your question in short, I guess it is a 2-for-1, and we may see more out of the bullpen. Who knows?
Well, he'll face Eric Brown, who is 1 for 2 on the day with a single, and last time up he laid down a bunt to move Brooks Baldwin over to third base, and it didn't matter because Andy Garriola hit that monster shot out into the left field bullpen, I should say.
It's just figuring out what type of pitcher you want in this situation.
Always seems to be close games against Brewster. The 1-0 is upstairs.
I'm just glad we scored runs against them in this game, Stefan. When we were down 2-0 after that Goosenberg home run, it was always something that felt like the Kettleers were going to score, and they just never did. They left runners in scoring position. They did all the things, just couldn't respond, and now they're in a better position.
2-0 in on the hands, lifted high out towards right center field. Davis coming on, and he'll make the grab for the first out of the inning. Brewster has had some success against Western teams, but not the most success. They're 3-3 on the season from Western Division opponents. And they're now starting to find their identity as a team. They started the season 0-2-1, but now sit at 7-5-2 in second place in the East. But now Andy Garriola will face the big left-handed hurler. He'll lift one towards right field. That's going to be a tough play. Jones hanging the line, but he'll make the catch. So Kettleers bats getting underneath it here in the bottom of the 6th. Back-to-back flyouts to the outfield.
And that's because Fitzpatrick is giving them breaking balls they've gotten under. Those are the pitches that he's featuring. And that's not a hard hit. But if they just undercut the ball a little bit more, it's going to go a lot further, especially against the right-handed hitters.
Now Nathan Martorella gets his chance. Break down the standings next inning for you in the CCBL play coming into today. The 1-0 fastball, looked like the first one we've seen, catches the outside of the plate, 1-1. Last night there was only one game on the Cape. It was Wareham and Chatham. It ended in a tie, 4-4 at Veterans Park. Goes right back to that fastball at easy 92. Kettleers running risk, having back-to-back 1, 2, 3 innings. As that slider misses low.
This time it would be Fitzpatrick's turn to follow suit from his teammate Harry Rutkowski, who did it in the 5th inning.
Looked like a worse pitch, but Martorella gets rung up. I can't believe this. He didn't agree with that call either, and he's down on strikes for the 2nd time this evening. Go to the 7th on the Kettleers Digital Network.
Top of the 7th inning here. Chris Carey and Stephen Carey for the Cotuit Kettleers Digital Network. A few scores in order. Standing is in order. Bourne 10-1-3 in first place, followed by Wareham. We're sitting comfortably at 3rd, trying to improve to 2nd if we get the win today. Falmouth at 5-7-2, and Hyannis in last at 2-12. YD in first in the East, 7-4-4. Brewster in second, as we said, 7-5-2 record. Orleans the same in third. Harwich 6-6-2 in fourth. And Chatham in last place, 5-8-3. As there's the first pitch to start off, Spencer Jones, who's 0 for 2 with a strikeout and grounded into a double play in the 4th inning. Now the 0-1 lifted towards left. Garriola moving to his right and making the catch for the first out of the inning.
Garriola's gotten a good bit of work out there. More so than I think we've seen in the last couple of games, but it's good to see the glove get tested because we've seen what the bat can do. But yeah, you were talking about the standings, Chris. There's only 2 teams in the CCBL that have yet to tie a game. Cotuit's one of them, Hyannis is the other, and for 2 completely different reasons. To start the season, Cotuit has either been in neck-and-neck games or they've been blowing people out or getting blown out. There's no in-between for them. Hyannis has just struggled mightily. Offensively, defensively, from a pitching standpoint. And that's why they have that 2-12 record. But the second half of the season is where the teams really start to put it together and you figure out what they're made of. Because in a top-heavy division right now with Bourne sitting at 10-1-3 and the rest of the teams sitting at or around 500, anybody could make a play for that second or even first spot if Bourne drops a couple of games.
Well, that's what we're hoping will happen as that 2-1 slider is cut on and missed. He was nowhere near that pitch. And now Weiss behind in the count once again. He's grounded out and struck out looking. And how about a swinging strikeout here in the 7th? That would be just what the doctor ordered for Andre Granillo. Here's the 2-2. And it does happen. Off of the slider, what else but that breaking ball from Andre Granillo to get the second out of the 7th inning.
79's his magic number. That's been the pitch. Got the second strike of the at-bat, got the third strike of the at-bat, and then got his first strikeout of the game, all at 79-mile-an-hour sliders. And it's when he takes some off. He gets that extra spin. He just throws a beautiful pitch. And now he can come back and do things like that with a fastball in the outer half of the plate. The ability to change speeds and location is what makes Andre Granillo so deadly.
And he's just going right at hitters as Dylan Carter's behind 0-2. So Granillo, are we going to go for the lucky number 79 on the back door this time? The pitch. Nope, instead it's 95 miles an hour just off the plate at 1-2. And this is where we have seen premium Granillo. 1-2, swing and a miss. Revved it up to 80, back-to-back swinging strikeouts. That's his third of the game. We stretch on the Kettleers digital network. Bottom of the seventh inning, Fitzpatrick still on the hill for the Brewster Whitecaps after going 1-2-3 in the sixth. He'll have to face Brett Roberts, R.J. Schreck, and River Town, barring any pinch hitters. And we've got a few names that could possibly come in this game, starting with Jack O'Dowd from Vanderbilt, who joined the team after Cole Cummings left for the MLB draft, and a guy that has already integrated himself within the community.
He was reading at the local library the other day to kids. And that's what separates Cotuit from a lot of other teams on the Cape, is it just means so much to the people that live here. And good work by Jack O'Dowd to come out and do that. One of those high pedigree players out of Vanderbilt. He was activated just a few short days ago. Certainly excited to see what he can do for this team, for this community, and for himself.
Well, Roberts is behind 0-2. And the free-swinging Brett Roberts today grounded back to the pitcher and also flew out to center field. We'll see what he can do with an 0-2 count. Whitecaps have a lot of notable former players in their history as we wait for the 1-2 pitch. And that'll pop up. Calling off is Neto right behind the first base bag into the outfield grass for the first out. And as I was saying, plenty of notable players. Ryan Braun, Chase Utley, who also played for the Kettleers, John Jay, Kyle Hendricks, Yasmani Grandal, Aaron Judge, Jeff McNeil, David Ross, the current manager of the Cubs, Will Smith, Michael Lorenzen, and Mark Canha. So
two of those players right off the bat were on a 2012 Brewster team, and we were talking to them when we first went to Stony Brook Field. And they said that 2012 team had all the personnel, we just didn't have the team chemistry to get it going.
As it looked to be that Dan Henry got hit by a ball, and we all have to be concerned about that when it happens because of what happened 2 years ago on 4th of July. As we mentioned before, he's back behind the plate umpiring his first game. I think it hit him in the hand this time. But he had to go through some rigorous training, some therapy for all of those things. Remember, these guys aren't throwing 60 miles an hour. They're throwing 90 to 95. And off the bat, quickly, you can't react. And he only has so much protection before, it really shakes him up.
Well, if anybody knows about the risks of umpiring at this level, it's Dan Henry. He has taken everything in stride, taken it blow for blow, and done an excellent job recovering and getting back here. So hats off to you, Mr. Henry.
A ball and a strike for R.J. Schreck. And a big swing off a high slider makes it a ball and 2 strikes. One-two pitch to Schreck. And he goes down to get it. Neto moving over and throwing to first for the second out.
Pretty much the same exact swing that he had for that double that plated Nathan Martorella in the 4th inning. This time just couldn't make enough solid contact right at Zach Neto. That's an easy play for him over at second base. We've seen him in the hole. We've seen him ranging to either direction. He's been so good defensively at either spot in the middle infield.
So Rivertown with 2 down in the 7th. Town today is grounded back to Rutkowski. We've said that a couple of times. And also popped out to short. So he's put the ball in play, just hasn't found the grass that he's needed to get on the base paths. Another chopper to Neto, another opportunity, charging and side-arming over to first, dug out by Thompson for another 1-2-3 inning for Fitzpatrick. It's 3-2 heading into the 8th, but we're going to send it over to Lauren Kirkley from the bullpen.
Coming at you live from the bullpen with the Cotuit pitching staff. Dalton, tell us a little bit about what you guys do back here.
So first off, we have a bunch of little kids running around. Hop up, buddy. So we hang out with these guys, sign some stuff. We have a speaker, we listen to music, and we just hang out,
All right, so I'm sitting here. These seats are pretty comfy. The view's great. How do you stay locked in until your name's called?
We just kind of stay loose down here as best we can. I mean, it's not too high intensity, and when the radio goes off, we just know to get ready and what our routines are to get going. But it's just a great environment hanging out down here, even though these kids can be annoying. Ain't that right, guys? Yeah. No, I'm just joking, but yeah, we just try and keep it loose.
All right, thanks, guys. Back to you, Chris and Steph.
In the 8th inning, Lauren Kirkley from the bullpen, interviewing the 2 R's in relief, Sean Rapp and Dalton Radens. And it's just a good sign to know that our microphone can extend that long all the way to the bullpen. But
it's just so much fun to see her going out there interacting with the players. It's something that we don't get to do very often. And she's taken that role in stride. She's just beloved by the community, beloved by the players, and we're just so lucky to have her here on our team and continuing to just work with us. And even though she's a Clemson Tiger, and I will go on the record to say that the Georgia Bulldogs will be winning Game 1 on ABC September 4th. Shameless plug, but one that I'm proud of.
And you're not just complimenting her because she's sitting 5 feet away from us. Of course we believe that, and she's done a great job from a multitude of different spots. Speaking to Jenna Meyer, who set up Dog in the Park, or Bark in the Park,
Dog
But there are
dog in the park.
there
That's
are
a new
there
one.
are there are well there are dogs in the park, so I'm not too far off. But the Kmart version of what it actually is, I guess. But that welcomes Zach Cable to the mound, and we talk about Cable as kind of the unsung hero of the Kettleers as he closed it out against the Bourne Braves, earned himself the save, and now he's on with a 1-run difference and gives up a base hit in the first batter faced by Curtis Byrne. So the final line on Andre Granillo, he went 2 innings pitched, gave up 1 hit, 1 run, 0 walks, and 3 strikeouts. And now Cable in the 8th inning, which has progressed very quickly, has a runner aboard on first.
Well, we saw Cable in that game against Bourne where we handed them their first loss of the season. And in a world full of streaming services, he's proving that Cable most certainly is not dying. He is crushing it on the mound. Ate up a couple of innings, got the save. Ever since coming from Oklahoma State, he's just been so good for the Kettleers.
As that one gets away from Matt Donlin. And they've employed a pinch runner now into second base. We'll get his number momentarily, but you say Cable isn't dying. Cable not showing any signs of problems, but the stream has. And we fixed it. So Cable hoping to recover after getting a runner on scoring position, much like our stream did today. Excellent work by Jack Roberts and Owen Zides. And the runner at second base is number 4, Porter Brown from TCU.
I think we saw him come in as a defensive substitution for Brewster in the first game. Came in to play center field, I believe. He's in there for his speed. If he can move over 90 feet with 1 out, that really puts Brewster in the driver's seat here in the 8th inning to just hit a ball on the ground.
Showing bunt is Trey Faltine. You have to remember, if Faltine is able, or any of the Whitecaps are able to manufacture the 3rd run of the game for Brewster, going into the 9th, it would be a tie game. And Cotuit and Hyannis are the only 2 teams in the CCBL that have not had a tie this season. Cotuit would like to keep it that way. 3-0 pitch to Faltine, and he'll take his walk, effectively setting up a double play ball. But it looks like Cable's having some command issues here in the 8th. Gives up a base hit and now a walk, and they'll have to turn it over to the top of the order with the ever so powerful Colin Davis, who likes to move a little bit as well.
Well, fortunately for Cable, he's going to face Colin Davis, who already has some light contact, grounded into a 6-3 putout in the 3rd inning. But they're just going to have a conversation here. Play at any base, comfortability. You still have a 1-run lead. Just keep the ball on the ground, I think is the main objective here. You want to set up the double play if you can, get 2 outs, but I don't know if they're going to let Cable finish it.
And it looks like Cable's day is done, and they may be bringing in Harrison Cohen to come and pitch in this situation. We'll have it figured out up next. Well, my suspicions were correct. The day is done for Zach Cable, bringing way for Harrison Cohen. It's just his second appearance in relief and did excellent work last time he came on. And he pitched against the Chatham Anglers, went 1 2/3, gave up 1 hit and struck out 3 with no runs coming to pass. Now he's got 2 runners aboard with nobody out in the top of the order of this Brewster Whitecaps team. And the hottest hitting player, one of them in the CCBL, in Colin Davis.
Yeah, Cohen pitched 2 innings, only gave up 1 hit and had 3 strikeouts in his last outing against Chatham. Seems comfortable in this relief role. I don't know how I feel about this decision with Cable pitching as well as he did against Bourne. And look at how it all went down. That's kind of the key here is start off with a single, then a passed ball, which wasn't your fault, then a walk. You know, only a little bit of that is on.
Well, Davis showed bunt. Instead, it's a double steal, and it works perfectly for Brewster. Kettleers try to do a wheel defensive play on third base with Brooks Baldwin moving in and Eric Brown covering third. But before that, Porter Brown and Trey Faltine took their respective bases. And now with a base hit to center field, which Colin Davis already has 2 of, Brewster would take the lead. Good block by Donlin at 83 miles an hour to make it a ball and a strike.
And Brewster's playing chess while the Kettleers are playing checkers here in the top of the 8th. I mean, to square around for a bunt, have 2 guys running, bait the defense into coming in and having no play for Donlin at either base, that's frustrating.
Well, that's a line shot right at Brooks Baldwin, and he snags that one before it could creep into the outfield. Big first out for Harrison Cohen, and he gets the most lethal hitter on this Brewster Whitecaps roster to get out.
And Chris, you said it best, that is a huge out. Would have been even bigger if anybody was covering second with Trey Faltine scrambling back to the base, but now it's just a different approach. You can go right at the batter, Jake Thompson here, try and play for the strikeout, try and play for a light ground ball, check the runner at third. Because with the infield in, it makes things difficult for him.
So now an 0-1 for Thompson. Slider in the dirt, blocked by Donlin. We'll keep Brown and Faltine at their respective bases. Infield still in. Outfield playing relatively shallower than they would typically play against a guy that has already had a home run in this game.
Well, and the outfield playing at that depth is concerned about Faltine at second. They'll give up the tie. They don't want to give up the lead here in the 8th.
1-1. Fastball and a beauty on the inside corner. And this is where Harrison Cohen has been successful, is when he's been able to command his first and secondary pitches.
Well, it's that fastball at 93. We've seen him pump it up to 96, but he has so much more movement when he takes off a little bit of speed. It's been much better when he's taken off the velo and focused on placement.
1-2. Blocked by Donlin. It skips away from his feet, but no further advancement from Brown and Faltine. That was just enough to stay in front and to keep the ball at arm's length, literally. So with a 2-2 count and 1 out, 2 runners in scoring position, this is a completely different setup for the Kettleers. The way they have to strategize this with Harrison Cohen, a strikeout, and it's a completely different conversation. The 2-2, chopped foul off the right side. Martorello was playing off the bag. Had it have stayed fair and hugged that line, it would have been extra bases for sure.
This is quite the test for the Kettleers. Find out what they can do to preserve this lead. Because the bats have helped the pitchers out. At least I should say they helped Justin Mice out in the 4th inning, but been silent since. Now Brewster could make him pay here if Harrison Cohen isn't careful.
The 2-2 pitch. And that's launched high and deep to right field. Did he do it again? He did. A 3-run home run for Jake Thompson in the top of the 8th inning. And Brewster has reclaimed the lead with RBIs 2, 3, and 4 from the Oklahoma State Cowboy.
Yeah, he just hung one over the middle, and Thompson did not miss it. Unfortunately for the Kettleers, now they're behind by 2 runs. And Cohen was doing such a good job locating his pitches. He just left one a little bit up in the zone.
Well, you got Harrison Cohen accounting for one of those runs. Cable getting the other 2. Final out on him, 0+. 1 hit, 2 runs, 2 of them earned, 1 walk, and no strikeouts. And Cohen still trying to get out of this 8th inning, now a 5-3 scoreline. The Kettleers will have to rally back if they want to get over 500 for the first time since opening day. And Neto at 0-3 with an RBI in the 6th inning that scored the 2nd run of the game. He's trying to get his first hit of this contest in the 8th.
It was an RBI ground out where Brooks Baldwin made a beautiful diving play, but fired across in time to get him. But you'll take a run any way you can get him. Brought in the 2nd run of the game, and well, that 1-run lead obviously wasn't comfortable enough for the Kettleers to hold on to here in the 8th. Neto is in part to thank for that.
Well, he's behind the count at 1-2. Harrison Cohen just trying to find something to get the 2nd out of this inning. The pitch ran too far inside. It was a changeup at 84. And Brewster had an offensive showing in their last game versus Hyannis. They won 12-0. It was a complete rout. They matched 12 runs with 12 hits. They've got 6th here at Lowell Park. Neto has worked the count full with 1 out. Unfortunately, Cohen has to leave a strike over to the very calculated hitter in Zach Neto, or else he would have another walk and maybe a conversation to be had by Coach Roberts. 3-2 pitch. Went with the slider in on the hands, but Neto was able to foul it away.
This is a big pitch for Harrison Cohen. Doesn't want to allow any more damage to come across, and for his own confidence, he wants to strike Neto out here.
3-2, went up with the fastball, and Neto timed it foul. So a good at-bat brewing here at 3-2 for number 19. You have to remember, even if they get this out, they've got to get one more to turn it over to the bottom of the 8th inning. And they're hoping it's only a 2-run deficit. But the power continues with Sean Gusenberg on deck. 3-2 pitch, swing and a miss. Harrison Cohen got him on the slider. Donlin thought that was the 3rd out. But no, it is not. It is the 2nd, but a big strikeout from Harrison Cohen.
And a pretty one. Used that inside corner. Neto was trying to launch, went down to a knee again. That's good for Harrison to come back, get a little bit of a confidence booster. Unfortunate that he hung one, but good job bouncing back and locating his pitches for that at-bat.
Well, the first pitch to Gusenberg is chopped over to Brown. He'll throw it over to first for the 3rd out of the inning. A 3-run home run from Jake Thompson makes it home runs 1 and 2 on his season. It's 5-3 heading into the bottom of the 8th on the Kettleers Digital Network. Well, sometimes situations happen, and one like this, it's now a 2-run difference, but not in favor of Cotuit. It's 5-3 after a 3-run home run from Jake Thompson. He's got 2 home runs already in this game and 4 RBIs. And he's most certainly been the player of the game for the Whitecaps in this lead. Now Ryan Ritter is going to come in to put the lefty-righty matchup against Brian Fitzpatrick, who has pitched 2 great innings of work, going 1, 2, 3 in both. And what has been most interesting about him is he's drawn soft contact.
And this pretty much means that Matt Donlan's day is over and Ben Rice is going to take over behind the plate. But I like this decision from Coach Mike Roberts. He wants to play the matchup game. Ritter also brings a ton of speed to the equation. So if he can poke one out to the left side, maybe find a hole, he'll beat out a lot of the throws that are made if he hits one in the hole.
Well, he takes the first pitch upstairs. That's a good start. Matt Donlan flew out twice to center field, so they're going to try and use a different right-handed hitter against Fitzpatrick as he blows by 90 miles an hour. Ritter couldn't time it up. The 1-1 pitch and a beautiful breaking ball for strike number 2.
It's a slider that starts middle in but just barely goes in. So it has more movement to the batter than it looks like it does to us, but still so deceptive for Ritter.
And that fastball up and away gets Ritter to swing and miss for the first out. That's only the second strikeout for Fitzpatrick, but it comes at a welcome time as he brings up the top of the order.
Well, since starting in the 6th, it's been 7 up, 7 down. Fly out contact, ground ball contact. The man from Rutgers has done it all and really has helped out his starting pitcher.
And the first pitch to Gold is a changeup for a called strike on the outside corner, and that moved a lot. Such a deceptive pitch for right-handed hitters to see. 0-1. And that wasn't a changeup, that was a slider.
It's only 1 mile an hour difference, and he's just locating it so well. Luke Gold's going to probably move up in the box, try and time up a pitch, but he might try and blow a fastball by him.
0-2. It was a slider, and Gold had to go down to one knee to foul that one away. Remember, breaking balls up and in on Luke Gold are the hardest pitches to give up to him because he can make you pay. We'll see what Fitzpatrick offers within his bag of tricks. Fastball up and away, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Wondering what is going to happen with the Kettleers in the 9th. Who's going to come in to pitch? How will the bats respond if this inning doesn't go well? As there's another strikeout from Fitzpatrick. A changeup this time got Luke Gold to go fishing, and there's 2 outs. That's his 3rd strikeout of his appearance. Now going from a guy that was pitching to contact to a guy that's pitching for swings and misses. That tells you this guy is not only a reliever but also starts because he's really feeling his stuff in his 3rd inning of work.
And I think his frame just lends itself well to those big breaking balls that have been so difficult for the Kettleers to handle. He sits at around 6'6", 6'7". Just an imposing body, the type that scouts really like to look at. But 8 up, 8 down, a chance to make it 3 straight 1, 2, 3 innings. And that's about as perfect of work as you can ask for from a relief pitcher.
2-0 pitch. Baldwin went up for it but missed. Still the high fastball that's caused the most trouble for the Kettleers. And I think that Fitzpatrick understands that here in the 8th inning. Completely different scenario considering the top of the 8th inning as Baldwin misses on a fastball again. It's an even count and a chance for Fitzpatrick to strike out the side in the bottom of the 8th. It would be good for his 4th strikeout in his appearance. What will he go with here at 2-2? The pitch. Baldwin pops it up, but it looks like it will go behind the Mycock building where we're sitting, and they'll see another. Two-two to Baldwin. He golfs that one out to left field. Looks like a comfortable enough play for Carter. And for 3 straight innings, Fitzpatrick goes 1-2-3 in the bottom of the 8th. We head to the 9th where the Kettleers will try to play damage control, possibly reclaim the lead.
Top of the 9th inning, and the Kettleers are going to use their 5th arm of the day. Not only their 5th arm of the day, but their 5th right-handed pitcher of the day. Dalton Radens is coming in here in the 9th to try and keep the Brewster lead to 2. And Chris, this game kind of got away from the Kettleers in the 8th inning. Frustratingly, because the bats came to life in the 4th and helped out their starting pitcher, Justin Mice. It all sort of fell apart after the 3-run homer by Jake Thompson gave Brewster the lead, and that was his 2nd home run of the day.
Well, in his 2nd home run of the CCBL season, he got his 1st earlier in this game. Sometimes you have a hot bat, and you just can't be cooled down, but last time we saw Raiden Steffen, Kettleers played the Wareham Gateman. He went 0+, gave up 2 hits and a run and only a walk. So looking to do a little bit better than that against a team that really has responded late against a Kettleers team that we thought was in the driver's seat.
Raiden's one of those sidearm pitchers. He's not going to blow down the door with speed, but he does place the ball extremely well. We saw him at the Cotuit Fresh Market, talked to him a little bit about one of his previous outings, and he said, you know, it wasn't my best day on the mound, but I'll get another opportunity. And that's the type of mentality that you need out of a relief pitcher, because these are pressure cooker situations. But now, down by 2, he pretty much just has to focus about the men that come up to the plate. First pitch, Spencer Jones misses. Jones 0 for 3 on the day with strikeout, grounded into a double play, and flew out to left his last time up. He shoots one deep out to right center field. Going back is Town, and it's off the wall. He'll play it off one bounce and fire it in, but a stand-up double for Spencer Jones. That's only his 2nd hit of his CCBL career.
And that almost cleared the fence. But in another situation, the Kettleers have a runner in scoring position with nobody out. Highly resemblant of the way that the 8th inning started, where Cable gave off a leadoff base hit, then a walk, then you got a runner in scoring position. Now they're starting early. That double from Spencer Jones, and in any other part of the ballpark, that probably would have snuck out.
It's been a trend. These guys either time up Raiden's very well or they don't at all. Hopefully it is the latter with Cooper Weiss. First pitch low and inside, 1-0. Good turnout here for Bark in the Park on a Saturday.
You mean Dog in the Park?
Dog in the Park, whatever you want to call it. Hey, Chris, as Weiss lays down a bunt down the first baseline, but it trickles foul. Here's a joke for you.
Oh, no.
Light contact in the air during Bark in the Park day, and it's caught by an infielder. What would you call it?
I'm not entirely sure what you just asked, but lay it on
Light
me.
contact in the air,
Okay.
caught without a bounce by an infielder on Bark in the Park day. What would you call it? I want your answer after this pitch. Here comes the 1-1 to Cooper Weiss. As Raiden steps off, you can go ahead and answer.
I don't have an answer.
A pup out.
The fact that you guys behind us are laughing right now is just problematic in and of itself. It's not going to stop.
The comedy gene did not hit you, did it, Chris? As Raiden steps off to make it a 1-1 count. He wants to check the runner at second, who would represent the 6th run of the game for Brewster.
A pop out, huh? Wow. Okay. Well, I've heard it all.
1-1 from Raiden's in on the hands, engulfed foul by Weiss. Weiss, one of the few guys out of Coastal Carolina that doesn't have a mullet. Same with Eric Brown over at shortstop. Again, an excellent baseball program. They're just outside of Myrtle Beach. As Weiss swings and misses on that big breaking slider, and that's a well-needed strikeout by Dalton Raidens.
He got Weiss on a trio of strikeouts, and his conference opponent, Raidens, has the last laugh against him. He's going to have 3 strikeouts to his name as well as a groundout, so 0 for the guy from Coastal. And now a more comfortable situation with Dylan Carter coming up.
And they're going to intentionally walk Dylan Carter to try and set up the double play ball and go on the righty-righty matchup.
Well, you do set up the double play ball. Raidens is no stranger to drawing soft contact, so that's not a bad move in this situation.
But it's going to be a pinch hitter.
Yeah, it'll be Nick Biddison out of Virginia Tech.
Surprised the pinch hitter isn't left-handed, but that's trust. Runner going. No play for Rice over at third, and there's going to be runners on the corners with just one out.
That's Spencer Jones, the tall, lanky outfielder that got a really good jump. And Rice would have had to throw behind the batter in the right side batter's box to even make a play at that. Thought better of it. So now Raidens has to pay attention to a runner at third and now a runner at first. Would not be surprised if there's a situation brewing where Dylan Carter at first base tries to take second. Maybe a advance home from Jones.
I don't know if Ben Rice would make that play. Biddison squares around for the bunt, but fouls it back, making it 1-1. So you can expect to see the corner infielders start to play in, focusing on the bunt. This is what you call the suicide squeeze. One of the lost arts in baseball. Goes back to it, but the pitch misses outside, 2-1.
Must see TV if he can get it down.
Brewster, though they have out-hit Cotuit, coming into today, they only were batting .212 as a team and 61 runs scored. As the 2-1 uses the front door and gets the call. The big number is that they scored 61 runs but have allowed 60 of them. So they've been in a lot of games like this situation here where they're down or up by 1 or 2 runs And they scrap the 2-2 pitch. Fanned on and missed. Back-to-back strikeouts from Radens if you don't take into account the intentional walk, but pretty pitching here to try and get himself out of a jam.
And now you got to go to the bottom of the order and Trey Faltine. So he went 0 for 2 with a line out and a ground out, but he also walked and later scored in that big 8th inning. That was that surging home run by Jake Thompson. He was one of the guys to cross home plate.
Trey Faltine has runners on the corners with 2 outs. Runners going. Ben Rice is going to fake the throw, and it's not going to matter. Radens gets the strike call, so that's a plus. But now 2 runners in scoring position for Brewster. Now all Radens has to do is focus on the man at the plate.
Well, and also keep the ball out of the dirt for Ben Rice. But a base hit would be the only way that this scores a run.
Goes back to the slider, but misses. For perspective, with this 212 team average coming into today, Cotuit has hit 266 as a team. The main difference between the two is their pitching. Cotuit has a team ERA almost 50 points higher than that of Brewster. The 1-1 is fouled away by Faltine.
I'm wondering if Fitzpatrick will come back out in the 9th inning because he's already qualifying for the win here. If they're able to get this out of there, or they're going to go somebody else with a save opportunity.
1-2 off the plate. I think that would be the right call. Kettleers haven't been able to hit him. 9 up, 9 down. 3 straight 1-2-3 innings. This is a Brewster team that's riding off their last victory 12-0 against Hyannis. And that's continued in the later innings. They've had a ton of spark. As Faltine gets one off the end of the bat, keeps it at 2-2. The big inning in that game came in the 3rd, where they scored 8 runs against an embattled Hyannis Harbor Hawks squad. Plenty of rest for both teams after a couple of rainy days. And Radens strikes out the side. Gets out of the jam, and we'll go to the bottom of the 9th, where the Kettleers are going to look to get 2 or more. Well, Chris, we're seeing the holy trinity of Rutgers pitchers. The final man coming on to seal the deal for the Brewster Whitecaps is Dale Stanovich. They're all left-handed. How do you even do that? How do you get such a concentration of southpaws out of Rutgers University in one game? Maybe you want to sprinkle one in, but maybe they're just such a battery of pitching that you have to throw them on the same day, or else you're not going to get the result that you want. But the combo of Rutkowski and Fitzpatrick thus far in the game has been the difference for Brewster. But Stanovich is going to have to face the 3, 4, and 5 hitters. Starting off with Eric Brown Jr., who has a single today, laid down a bunt and flew out to center his last time up. We've harped on it. The key to these situations is just get somebody on base and let the rest happen. So Stanovich in a comfortable situation, but 2 runs is by no means cushy, especially when the bats can come to life at an instant like they did in the 4th inning for the Kettleers. In on the hands, little trickler right at first base, and Thompson will handle it himself for the first out of the inning.
Stanovich, if he can get 2 more outs, would get the save. Fitzpatrick would be tabbed with the win after his excellent relief performance, and it looks like Zach Cable would pick up the loss after going 0+, giving up 2 runs. He accounted for 2 of those runs after that 3-run home run from Jake Thompson. Of course, Cohen inherited the other one, which was Thompson.
Garriola sort of broke things open in this game with a long 2-run blast out to the bullpen in left field. A little bit of solid contact would be welcome here, but he fouls back the 0-1, making it no balls and 2 strikes.
Well, it'd be nice if we could have a guy match the 2-homer man and Jake Thompson from Brewster with Garriola. Be even sweeter if we had a runner on the base paths. They got to get something going here with 1 out, Steph.
The 0-2 coming from Stanovich. Slapped right at the first baseman. Back-to-back unassisted plays for Thompson. Kettleers are down to their final out here at Lowell Park. Folks, we invite you to join us on our road trip via our MixLR link on the Kettleers radio network, starting off tomorrow at Falmouth. Then, of course, Monday at Wareham, Tuesday at Harwich, then once again, July 14th at Wareham. It's 1-2.
That game Monday night's going to be very special. Nesson's coming to town, so we will have us 2 broadcast the first couple of innings, and then Tim Crowley and Lauren Kirkley will take over the duties at Wareham on Monday.
Here it comes. Just misses inside, and the count runs full at 3-2. If Martorella could get aboard, the tying run would come to the plate. The 3-2 pitch. He'll draw a walk, so there's still some life for the Kettleers. Brett Roberts is going to be the man to come up with a chance to tie the game.
And they may not have Stanovich go here. They may want to do the righty-righty matchup. We'll have to see what they're going to do. Doesn't seem like there's any indicator of pointing to the bullpen. Stanovich has pitched well, has dealt with right-handed hitting before, and yeah, all he needs is a fist bump from his coach to tell him, hey, you're in here. But you do have a free-swinging Brett Roberts who does like to take cuts the first pitch he sees and does have plenty of power. So if that were to happen, just don't know.
Scott Landers goes out and has a word with his closer. But still 2 are down for the Kettleers, but 1 swing of the bat could change this game. And certainly for the men in pinstripes, a tie is better than a loss, because at least with a tie you get a point. First pitch to Roberts. Misses outside, 1-0.
And you can hear some disgruntled Brewster fans disagreeing with that call behind the plate.
Roberts took a shot at right but couldn't keep it fair. It's 1-1. 1-1 pitch. Once again to the right side, softly but foul. 1 ball and 2 strikes. So once again, the Kettleers are down to their last strike.
Thought it was going to be Jake Thompson's 3 chances over at first, and why not? He's had such a great game offensively. See if Stanovich can close it out here.
1-2 pitch coming from Stanovich. Fastball downstairs. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Kettleers fans trying to rally Brett Roberts at the plate. Building some excitement. Trying to get their boys back into this game. 2-2. Swing and a miss. Roberts is down on strikes. The gauntlet of Rutgers pitchers close it off. The Kettleers drop to 7 and 8.
Yep.
Folks, thank you for joining us on the Kettleers Digital Network. For Owen Zides, Jack Roberts, Tim Crowley, Lauren Kirkley, Chris Carey, I'm Stephen Carey signing off. We're going to have a post-game with Tim Crowley and Lauren Kirkley after this. We hope you stay tuned for that. But we'll be on the road for the next 4, so please tune in on the Kettleers Radio Network.
Welcome back to the Kettleers post-game show following a 5-3 loss to the Brewster Whitecaps to close out the current homestand. Tim Crowley with you on the post-game show. So what was once supposed to be a 4-game homestand wiped out a single game yesterday against Harwich on Friday night due to the rain that came through with Hurricane Elsa. We're going to talk a little bit more about that in just a moment. For now, let's send it down to Lauren Kirkley, who's standing by with Coach Roberts.
Coach, Andy Garriola has become an insane power threat for this lineup. What do you have to say about his performance lately?
Well, he certainly has picked us up several times, and he picked us up tonight after we're down 1-0, and it's a 2-run home run. So Andy's done a great job, and we hate to lose him. We know we're going to lose him in the next few days, probably for the draft, but he's really improved, and he seems to be very comfortable at the plate.
It seems sometimes that when the pitching struggles, the bats soon follow. What do you think the key is to remaining consistent on one side of the ball when you maybe not be so consistent on the other side?
Coaching. I got to do a better job. I mean, that's it. I mean, you have to stay on top of it. Summer baseball is a very fun task, but a very difficult task. And tonight, the most glaring thing to me was not the home runs. It was we didn't handle their base running very well. They did a great job with their base running, and we have to do a better job with that. But again, would you like to pitch and hit on the same night? Sure you would. So we've got 4 straight road games now. We're going to find out what we're made of in the 4 straight road games.
You're coming off a 4-game homestand, like you said, headed into 4 straight away games. What's your message to the team heading into this week?
Well, championship teams play well on the road, and that's what we got to do.
Thank you, Coach.
All right, thanks.
Back to you, Tim.
Lauren, thank you so much. Once again, here at the Kettleers post-game show, Tim Crowley with you live from the booth following a 5-3 loss to the Brewster Whitecaps today. So we saw Justin Mice in what could be his final start as we start to see this draft shakeup come through to it and come through the rest of the Cape. But once again, he gets his second chance against the Brewster Whitecaps. Turns in yet another quality start. Just tries to get that offense behind him. And for Brewster, it was Jack Thompson going with his 2 home runs, including the big 3-run home run that ultimately ended up being the difference of this game in the 8th inning. We did see Andy Garriola run into another home run today. His power threat, as Lauren just mentioned, continuing to drive this Kettleers offense. But in the end, it's that Rutgers trilogy getting ready and closing the door for Brewster. They win their 2nd straight, and after coming in off the win against Chatham, it's the Cotuit Kettleers dropping back to 7-8 following the 5-3 loss today. So what was once supposed to be, as we mentioned, a 4-game homestand, only going cut down to 3 after the rain cancellation yesterday against Harwich. They'll see the Mariners in just a few days as a part of the upcoming 4-game road trip that will start tomorrow night in Falmouth. We saw the success that the Kettleers had there on the 4th of July in a 4-3 victory. They're hoping to rekindle that tomorrow on 7-11. That'll be the first of 4 and then 2 of 3 games over the next 3 days following the Falmouth game being played over the bridge in Wareham against the game in the first trip to over the bridge of the 2021 season for the Kettleers. They'll play there on Monday and Wednesday with another trip back to White House Field and against the Harwich Mariners on Tuesday. So again, to recap, Falmouth Sunday, at Wareham Monday, at Harwich Tuesday, and back to Wareham on Wednesday for this 4-game road trip before the usual Thursday off day, and then the Kettleers will get back and ready to go on Friday night right back here at Lowell Park. So we will see you then, but in the meantime, make sure to tune into YouTube all week long for pre- and post-game content with myself and Lauren Kirkley, and then for the game broadcast, just as you have all season long, turn into the Kettleers Radio Network on MixLR, where you can hear Chris and Steph each of the next 4 nights as the Kettleers hit the road and try to make up ground against some very important opponents in the Western Division with that 1 East game in Harwich as well. So signing off from Lowell Park, once again the final score, the Brewster Whitecaps 5, the Cotuit Kettleers 3. We'll see you back here on Friday night, but until then, catch us on the road on YouTube for pre- and post-game content and MixLR for the live game broadcast. I'm Tim Crowley. Thanks for tuning in right here on the Kettleers Digital Network.